Hey guys, Coach Jesse here. In this video, I want to talk about the importance of nailing your deadlifts, especially if you're working with kettlebells and you want to start doing the more exciting exercises like swings, cleans, and eventually snatches. This is something I see far too many kettlebell users do incorrectly, and it really hampers your long-term growth and progression as a kettlebell practitioner. Is putting the cart before the horse, trying to get to the more exciting and advanced exercises before you really nail the basics. So the deadlift really is your fundamental movement. This is your starting point, okay, before you start progressing to swings, cleans, and snatches. Because it is paramount that you understand how to position your body correctly and nail the hip hinge. So when I use this phrase, hip hinge, I'm talking about your ability to bend from the hips, not your spine. So if you cannot do this action, big hip bend, without rounding or overextending the spine, that's problematic. This is an issue for both performance, but also from a safety and an injury standpoint. If you cannot move your joints correctly, doing a fundamental movement like the deadlift, there is no way I want you to start to load it more explosively with things like swings, cleans, and snatches, okay? So there's a couple of things I want to go through in this video to help you get to those exercises because they are fantastic, but the kettlebell often gets overlooked because it's not as perhaps sexy or dynamic. So when we learn a new skill, okay, this is the skill acquisition phase of learning an exercise. We want to go from simple to complex. The base layer, and then we throw progressions and harder variations of it on top once we have mastered it. We go from light to heavy, okay? And we go from slow to fast. It's very important you understand those concepts and the stepping stones in terms of how to actually make progress, because a lot of people, they go, oh, kettlebells look pretty cool. Let's, I saw some dude do some swings online and, they start doing this one and back's rounding and their form just looks terrible. And as a coach, it's really hard to watch. And with the influx of social media and people being able to post their workouts online, it's becoming more and more prevalent. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you how to nail your deadlift and get more out of it, so you can not only perform better, get stronger, build more muscle, become more powerful, but save yourself the risk of injury as well. So the first thing that we want to do when performing deadlift is make sure that you are preserving a neutral spine. This means the natural S curvature of your spine, okay? I've got a 24 kilo kettlebell here. I'm going to set up standing directly on top of the kettlebell. So the kettlebell is in front of the line. I'm going to put my heels on that line. Okay, this is where the hip hinge portion of the movement comes in. I unlock my knees, so they are now slightly bent, and I'm going to try and push my bum straight back to the wall behind me. You can see the degree of hip bend now. I am bending from my hips, not my spine. My spine is still staying straight, natural curves. Okay, the next thing I want to do is reach down to the kettlebell with straight arms. Okay, zero elbow bend. Not here, not here, not here. I want your elbows fully extended. So, unlock, hips go backwards. There's the hip hinge, there's my neutral spine. Straight arms, reach for the kettlebell until you can loop your fingers around the handle. You're going to sniff in through your nose, hold that breath, and then you're going to push the earth away. Bum goes backwards, there's my hinge, my arms are dead straight, and I place it back towards the line. Hips go backwards, arms are straight, kettlebell is being guided back towards that line every time, okay? And you may have heard my breathing, it's almost like a hiss. What I'm trying to do is what's called breathe behind the shield. The abdominals being the proverbial shield, okay? The goal of the breathing is to increase intra-abdominal pressure. This creates stability, okay? It protects your spine and your internal organs, keeps you safe, and it makes you strong for these exercises. The top part of the deadlift should look like this. This is known as a vertical plank, okay? And I will often ask my students when they perform the deadlift, they'll stand up with the kettlebell and I'll ask them, is it comfortable? If they answer yes, I will poke it and prod them and cue them so that they become uncomfortable. And the reason that I say it needs to be uncomfortable is because there should be a high level of muscular tension. Quads on, glutes on, abs on, lats on, everything switched on simultaneously so that you produce this rock solid top position, okay? This is where the deadlift is a prerequisite for the swing because the top position is the same. There's my deadlift, and if I swing, it's the exact same position. The only difference is my arms are in front and the kettlebell's floating to our chest, neck height, okay? So take time when progressing through the movements, okay? If you do not have a good, strong, solid, stable deadlift, you have not earned the right to start swinging a kettlebell, okay? It's an injury risk for you. So that's why I'm putting this information out there, is so you can improve your deadlift, move better, become stronger, get tighter, and prevent those energy leaks from occurring. Every energy leak that you have within your body opens you up for injury, okay? If your quads aren't on, your legs become unstable. If your glutes aren't on, it can lead to arching of the back, okay? If your abs aren't on, same thing. And if your abs aren't on, if your lats aren't on, the spine becomes soft, like a soft, wet noodle, okay? Vertical plank means here. Head tall, arms straight if it's a swing in front, or straight down if it's a deadlift. So that's really what I want you guys to start to think about, is deadlift before you swing. In my own practice and in my students' practice, if we're doing swings, we will start with the deadlift. I'll say, hey, we've got sets of 5 coming up on swings, show me 5 deadlifts. Arms are straight, spine is neutral, I'm breathing behind the shield, and I'm finishing in a vertical plank. Like so. It's uncomfortable. It's a lightweight for me, but I'm trying to make it feel heavy by engaging the muscles as hard as I can. Neutral spine, straight arms, breathe behind the shield, get that midsection tight, and get that vertical plank. Straight line from your ankles all the way through to the shoulders, including the head. So there you have it, guys. Nail your basics, nail your deadlift before you start swinging.